it just pisses me off because you know that those two kids are going to grow up to be an asshole, just like their dad. And it's mind-boggling on Christmas.
And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast. Common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't either there, Chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. And today, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to one and all, but we're focusing on Christmas today because Christmas happened on Friday, and it was little Mugsy's first Christmas. And I just wanted to get on the horn and talk about a few things, my experiences, the wife's experiences, and the family, etc. And, of course, little Mugsy. I mean, how exciting would this be? Having a baby, the miracle life, that whole thing, and looking back on 2015, we had this beautiful baby girl. The wife and I bought our first house, etc. So it's a pretty big deal. But I was just looking forward to the first Christmas because, growing up as a kid, some of my favorite memories from growing up were around Christmas. Family, friends getting together, you getting out of school. Of course, when you're a child, you're very vain and materialistic. So you're like, if I can just get the Nintendo 64, if I can just get the Super Nintendo, kind of dating myself there, but whatever. And that's it. That's all you cared about. And they held the specter of being good. And, the parents were like, the elf on the shelf, he's watching you. Santa's not going to bring you gifts if you don't listen. That whole thing. And that's why I love having kids. Yes, I love them. Yes, I want to raise them, point them in the right direction, and become good, strong, independent contributors to society and good people. But Christmas, I'm going to be that dad. I'm going to be that dad who just loves having Christmas. And, this year was, baby was 6 months, almost 7 months. So, can't do a whole ton, not really quite taking it all in yet, but it was pretty fun nonetheless. And may as well start from the beginning. So, started out on Christmas Eve, and we went to one of our church's services. I think they ran 4 on Christmas Eve, so that was pretty convenient. We got there a little bit late. Now, by late, it was a 3:30 service, so by late, I don't mean we showed up at 3:45. We got there at 3:10, and that is late by Minnesota church Christmas Eve standards. So we were sat in the overflow seating, in the back, like little entrance area, but it was still perfectly fine. The church was packed, even though we got there 20 minutes early, and it was nice. And we're just getting to know churches in the area. The wife really likes it when it's a lot of hymns during Christmas services, and of course the lighting candles, turning the lights out during Silent Night. Silent Night. That's so fun. Now, Mugsy, throughout the whole thing, we put her in a cute little Christmas outfit, and she's just so happy. She's just a little ham, and it is kind of, it's kind of interesting. Like, people, sitting around you in church, or whether you're just out in public in general, like going to the store or, etc. People are just always like, oh, what a cute little baby. I know they do that with every baby, but I feel the novelty of the half white, half Asian baby plays in Mugsy's favor. Now, right or wrong, I think the out of the ordinariness and the fact that she's so stinking cute, that plays a part. That plays a part in why she gets so much attention. So, people were fawning over her in church. A couple little girls come up and told my wife, it's like, you have the cutest baby ever. And it was really cool because she hadn't napped very well that day, but she was looking around, and taking things in for a little bit, and then of course wanted a bottle and then just completely fell asleep. Even though I think she would have liked Silent Night. I think she would have really enjoyed that part, but she missed it. Now, growing up, my parents, we opened our presents on Christmas Day, but I lived down the street from my grandparents, and so for big family Christmases, we would get together. We would have a big dinner, go to what am I calling it? Christmas Eve church, and open up some presents Christmas Eve. Now, I've kind of gone back and forth because I see the merits of Christmas Eve openers, and I definitely see the merits of Christmas Day openers. So I think what we're gonna do for our family is, if we're generally gonna be traveling on Christmas Day, and we're gonna be on our own on Christmas Eve. So I think what we're gonna do is, kind of what we did this year, where we went to church, had a nice Christmas Eve dinner. The wife loves beef stroganoff, so we went and made that, and it was it's like the hardcore stroganoff. You can make the quick and easy like hamburger and rice stroganoff, but we went a little high class, on the eve of Jesus' birth, with the egg noodles and then the braised beef and the mushroom sauce, the bechamel. Oh man, it was good. So that's gonna be our thing. Beef stroganoff, maybe some asparagus, garlic bread, nice little dessert for Christmas Eve dinner, and open up one present on Christmas Eve. Especially as our kids get older and we have a couple more. It'll just be a cute little thing, of getting them. I think the wife wants to get them pajamas and a movie or a book, and then if their kids will read them that book or watch that movie that night. So, that'll be a nice little tradition. Then, of course, Christmas Day, open up the presents, have a nice little time, and then go to Grandpa and Grandma's and celebrate down in Austin, Minnesota. And it's not bad. It is definitely a good Christmas setup. All right, so getting back to what we did, we opened up presents on Christmas Day. And it was a lot of fun, and we sat around, had some breakfast, had some eggs and bacon, that whole thing. But the thing about having a kid that's under a year old, they still can't really take in what's happening, So we didn't wrap all of her presents, and we didn't get her too many gifts because we knew that she was going to be spoiled as heck when we visited Grandpa and Grandma. And it's a thing where the sweet spot for Christmas is when the kid is, I want to say, from 4 to 12. I think 4 to 12, maybe 11. All right, so about 4 to 11, you got a 7-year sweet spot stretch where Christmas is awesome, where it's so fun, doing the Elf on the Shelf and doing the, picking out the Christmas tree and decorating the tree and all these little traditions you get, because that's when the kid's mind is activated. That's when they can actually hold on to memories from that 4 to 11 era, and they're like wet cement, so those memories get imprinted before they become a teenager and everything sucks and they're all jaded by everything and they hate everyone. So from 4 to 11 is that sweet spot. Baby girl Mugsy isn't quite there yet, but it's good to get practicing. It is good to get practicing. Now, as far as gifts go, my stance on gifts, especially for young kids, is why get them so many gosh darn toys, even though they're going to be played with once and discarded within a week. And see, that's the thing about, they're going to get Christmas toys, they're going to get Easter toys, they're going to get birthday toys, they're going to get toys pretty much in every situation. Now, I also hate when people go on the opposite route of, we don't do Christmas gifts. We take our children down to the soup kitchen and show them the real meaning of Christmas. Shut up. Get your kid something nice for Christmas, except don't get them so many damn presents that they're completely overloaded. Like and they become completely jaded with Christmas, and that the fact that they can't find joy in like the coolest new $200 toy that came out because they got 7 of them or 7 things like that. No. See, the way I want to do Christmas is get them one big ticket item, like one thing that they've been wanting all year long, whether that be some nice headphones. It won't be Beats by Dre because Beats by Dre are garbage. We'll get them some Bose. They'll figure it out. Or a new iPhone or a gaming console, etc. One big ticket item, and then a couple little ancillary things. The wife likes the God, what's it called? Something. It's not something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. That's wedding. It's something you want. So the big ticket item, something you need, something to wear, something to read. I think it is. So their want would be the big ticket item. Need would be some sort of necessity. I'm like, I can't even think. Maybe some shoes. I don't know, shoes. Maybe ooh. I have no idea. Something to wear. Give them a nice little clothing item, and something to read. Obviously, there. That's it. 4 presents apiece for a kid. They don't need 12. They don't need 20 gifts apiece for mom and dad because they won't become appreciative of them. And that's not. You're not supposed to. That will instill in them the wrong meaning of Christmas. In that Christmas is like a paycheck. You know what I mean? And I have grown up with kids. I have been friends with kids where their parents did that, where like every Christmas was just a vomiting, and then the parents dropping a couple of K on presents, and you don't learn gratitude. I mean, you really don't. And the thing about getting a couple gifts, I mean, that's perfectly fine, especially if one is the big ticket item. That's it. You don't need 75 gifts. You can buy 4. It's not bad. It's good. Mm-hmm. All right. So what did we get, Mugsy? And besides, especially when the kids have relatives, especially grandparents, they're gonna get spoiled to. Anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. And we got baby, a couple random things. Basically, all children's toys are the same to me. I'm not gonna lie. And we got her this little play table with like the buttons you push, and then it's got lights and sounds. And I have no idea how this thing got by like seizure testing, because after staring at this thing for like 15 seconds, I was like ready to go bite a spoon because it was it's intense. It's a lot. And the funniest thing about it is that it has a SAP Spanish setting, and if you push a button, it plays da 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 da. Not sure if racist or not. And so then we traveled for the day, went down to Crystal's side of the family, and we hung out. Lots of family, lots of friends, lots of good food, and see, that's what you want to teach your kids what Christmas is all about. It's not getting the Xbox 17. It's not getting the PlayStation 9. No, it's about spending time with those that you love, or at least can tolerate, and shoving your gullet full of food that will probably back you up for a day or two, or completely on the other side. But oh man, here's what tangent. This is my mission. This is going to be my independent mission, because mac and cheese is delicious. I think we can all agree on that. Now, today I made a really, really good like homemade mac and cheese with medium-sized shells and crumbled up bacon in it. And the cheese sauce, it wasn't straight up Velveeta. It was a nice bechamel sauce. It was a nice white sauce. So melted cheddar in there, and butter and whole milk, and a little white pepper. It was delicious. It was very well done, if I do say so myself. And Southern families know what I'm talking about. They have mac and cheese at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at New Year's, at Easter, at all the major holidays. They have mac and cheese. We don't have mac and cheese up here, and I decree, no, nay, demand that we Midwesterners embrace mac and cheese as a holiday dish. As a holiday dish. And I'm not Southern. I just know a good idea when I see it. And mac and cheese for every meal during the holidays. Let's make it happen. And as far as travel goes, like I mentioned, we traveled down to go see her side of the family. And I'm very thankful that so far, circumstances haven't been that we had to fly anywhere for the holidays because I don't like flying as it is. And well, it's not that I'm scared of flying, but I just hate all the crowds and the fact that discount airlines like Spirit Airlines or Southwest make it so the flight is so cheap that people treat it like they're riding the bus, and they show up wearing all sweats and the dirty flip flops, and they're taking their shoes off on the plane, and they're sleeping in the terminal. It's just like people used to wear suits while flying, and you used to be able to smoke on the plane, and that whole thing. You used to be able to bang the stewardess in the bathroom. And now, if you do any of that, it's a federal offense. Who knew? Who would have known? Good times. But travel. It's funny because we were driving today. We had about an hour and a half drive, and you think where it's Christmas, we finally got a little snow on the ground, and everyone's full of good cheer, and yeah, it just feels so magical. Everyone's got Christmas music playing in their car, but no, people still drive like assholes. It's so funny because we were on a like a normal highway, one lane going one direction, one lane going the other. See, I don't know if you call that 2-lane, 1 lane, whatever. And we were going a little bit slower. I think there was a elderly couple in the car leading this entire pack, and we were fifth in the pack, right? And up behind us pulls like a silver Lexus, and he's riding my ass, and then backing off, then riding my ass and backing off again. Meanwhile, we're basically maintaining the same speed. We're going about, it was a 55, and we were going about 57 miles an hour. So it's not the slowest in the world, but everyone, when you have good roads, even in the winter, usually drive about 5 miles an hour over, right? So it wasn't like an egregious old person slow driving. And so the silver Lexus, is riding my ass, and he comes look, and then all of a sudden we hit this flat stretch of road where you can't see a car coming probably for about maybe a mile. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he whips into the left lane, and he speeds up, and he gets like even with us, and then he slows down, and then gets back behind. He does this twice in about a 10-mile stretch. Now, the first one I can kind of understand because it's a relatively straight stretch of highway we've been on, so maybe he thinks that there's one car in front of me, and passing 2 cars is dumb, but we see it all the time, and so not a huge degree of difficulty. But by the way, the weather's like perfect anyways. But the second time he pulled out, after he initially tried to do it and then backed off after seeing that there was 5 cars that he had to pass, he did it again. He thought like, you know what? I need to get to my destination at 60 miles an hour at minimum. So I'm going to try and pass these 5 cars again. And second time he did, there was a semi coming at like a half mile down the road. And you know what would have happened? And it's freaking Christmas, man. You're supposed to have more goodwill toward men. You're supposed to be more patient, more kind. 'Tis the season of good feelings. But no, you have to drive like an anus. You have to drive like a literal anus. Like your anus is literally clutching the steering wheel. And you know what would happen? The second time, if he would have been like, all right, it's go time, I'm going for it. And then he would have seen the semi, he would have either cut me or another car off, just to get in when he realized he's going to make all 5 cars. And yeah. And that didn't even change his place in the pecking order because there's no way he's going to pass all 5 cars. So he's still going to travel at the same miles per hour. He just has a bunch of people pissed off at him. And he accomplishes nothing because he's an anus. Yeah. And Merry Christmas to you too, dude. Maybe he doesn't celebrate. Who knows? Oh, speaking of which, and this falls under parenting as well. So we stop in at Quick Trip to get some ice, for the family gathering, everything. Yeah, any party you go to, if you bring ice, they'll always be happy because every party needs ice. Even if they have a lot of ice, you can always use some more. So we were there getting some ice, and Quick Trip was slammed. It's Christmas Day, pretty much the only thing that's open. Everyone's getting eggnog or soda or ice or blah blah. And there's this douchebag that walks in, maybe like a 45-year-old, like middle manager type white dude, balding, and his two kids, and they're all wearing khakis and sweaters, right? And so they hop out of their Suburban, go into the Quick Trip, and I'm in there about the same time walking around and grabbing the ice, and then they're just milling around, kind of getting in the way of people. And there was this one, youngish looking dude, maybe like 20s, somewhere in there, and he was carrying like 5 bags of ice. All right, so about 50 pounds of ice, and he had a pretty bad limp. Now it seemed like a limp where it wasn't like he had a sprained ankle. It's like the kind of limp where you can tell that he's had it for a while. Maybe was born with it. Maybe had a bad accident when he was 7, something like that. You can tell that he's pretty much into this limp. So the guy is essentially, for lack of a better term, a cripple, right? And you see these two snot-nosed little asshole kids. They were making fun of him. They were snickering, and then I could see down the aisle that one of them was mimicking the little limp walk. And it's so disrespectful, especially on Christmas. It's Christmas, damn it. And the worst part about it is the dad, who was in a different part of the store, comes walking in while they're doing the fake limp, and he laughs. He thinks it's funny too. And he knew exactly what they were talking about. Yeah, it wasn't them just being silly. It's like he knew for a fact that they were mocking that poor young gentleman that was just doing the best he damn could and just wanted to get a bunch of ice for his party. Mm-hmm. It's so stupid. And the fact that he's raising those kids to think that that's okay, like being that big of an asshole and being that disrespectful is okay. It's an abomination. And it just pisses me off because that those two kids are going to grow up to be an asshole just like their dad. And it's mind-boggling. On Christmas, for God's sake, that you're allowing this. It's just so stupid. Oh, and raising the stakes. On Christmas they got like 70 presents. That they got the brand new Xbox, the brand new PlayStation. Actually, no, they didn't get it because they already had it. They got spoiled to hell, and they think that the world revolves around them. They don't learn anything. I mean, they don't learn the real meaning of Christmas is, is better to give than to receive, and it's better not to be a complete piece of shit when you're in public and being a dick towards others. That's not what you do. That is not the spirit of Christmas. Mm-hmm. I tell you one thing: if Mugsy or any other of our kids were in that spot where I saw them making fun of another person's physical, what's the word? I don't want to say deformity, physical limitation, physical, yeah. Well, if I ever saw them making fun of that, I wouldn't say I would call Adrian Peterson, but there would definitely be some very interesting talks, and there would be some very interesting groundings, and there would be some interesting things that will happen not in that store, not in public, wait till we get home sort of deal. Mm-hmm. And we've talked on the show that I am okay with spanking in circumstances where they know exactly what they're being punished for, and it is a quick way to correct action. Now, I by no means condone like smacking the kid in the face, whipping the shit out of the kid like Adrian Peterson. No, it's not like that. But a quick little open face palm right on the rear end when they know what they're being punished for, I think that has a place. I really, it's really an unpopular take, but I do believe it has a place. That's how I was raised, and oh man, maybe it's not a good case for spanking, but I do believe that even though the politically correct police will shame you into saying, how dare you put your hand on your child, but in a very controlled, never in anger sort of way, the parent can apply physical pressure to the backside of a child when they know exactly what they're being punished for. And it's corrective behavior technique. Even though they'll say, "Well, you are such a barbarian. How dare you spank your child?" Very lightly open palmed on the rear end when they know exactly what they're being punished for. They just need timeouts. They just need a timeout, mister. Yeah, well, your kid is making fun of an old man's or a young man's limp, and he probably called the cashier a retard. Yeah, timeouts will really cure all of that. Good stuff. I'm a little worked up. It's Christmas, so this is Christmas, I guess. Oh, and speak of Christmas, so ABC. I love ABC. I love the show American Crime, and now it's got Felicity Huffman, Timothy Hutton, who I love from the show Leverage, and season 1 of American Crime was awesome. Now it's an anthology show where every season they do a different crime with same actors and different roles, etc. It's a really cool show. So season 2 is about a basketball team where there's allegations that they drugged and raped a fellow high school student who was a boy, was a male. So male on male rape. And that's very clear in the promotions. And they're running this on Christmas Day during NBA basketball. When a lot of families are they have the TV on. They're tuning into ABC, they're watching basketball. And even if they're not hardcore basketball fans, it's something to do as a family. And they're running American Crime ads during that time. And it's just like, come on, man. Know your demographic. Know that these little 8-year-old kids who maybe don't even watch NBA at all, but it's on, and then they see this whole thing about boys raping other boys, and imagine those questions. It's a good time. And I'm definitely not a prude on this. I'm gonna watch the hell out of season 2 of American Crime, but it's just a spot of know your demographic, man. Know who is watching the damn thing. And yeah. So that was Christmas. A whole lot of ranting, and then a whole lot of just going over what we did this year and what we're looking to do in the future. And I'm really excited. Like I really enjoyed Mugsy's first Christmas. It was a great time. She's just a cute, beautiful little girl. She's crawling pretty well on her own now, and she's also able to push herself up a little bit. If you have a box, like a Christmas gift box, she'll push herself up on that, get up on her feet. She can't like stand yet, but that'll come in time. And it's just, where's the time go? Time goes so fast. And there's a good saying that that I like is that when you're raising kids, the days are long, but the years are short. And that's what it really seems like. Some days, if I'm at home, working from home with the baby, and then some of those days seem like weeks. But then you just see how fast 6-7 months have gone by, and the fact that she's babbling, almost forming words, and crawling pretty well, and almost standing, it goes by pretty fast. Speaking of which, going by pretty fast is the holiday season and Amazon. Now, if you didn't get exactly what you want, you probably got a whole bunch of cash, you probably got some gift cards as well. Amazon. And you're going to shop there anyway because it's got the best selection and 2-day shipping with Amazon Prime. So why not do it under our banner and give us a little taste to keep the lights on here at Dad Mode Pod. Go to dadmodepod.com. Top left corner, click through our Amazon banner, bookmark it. Put it right on the bookmark bar. Every time you use Amazon, click that bookmark and we'll get a little taste. And it'll be awesome. Thank you for supporting the show. So that's today's episode. Nick will be back next week, but I just wanted to give you a little insight on Mission Operation Christmas. It was a good time. And I got to yell about the really snot-nosed bastard kids and their stupid ass parent. It's just irresponsible. Just terrible parenting. Anyways, show is available on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod or me at Andy Carlson Show. Website is dadmodepod.com. But we are gone for this week. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, you guys. We'll talk to you in the new year, 2016. Be a man, be a father, and go dad mode. And we'll see you next time.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.